Another K-pop video, and as you probably know by now that what K-pop is Korean pop music. This is a group called Brown Eyed Girls video 6 Sense, how the elite controls opposition. Backed big money and millions of fans, the Korean pop music industry, K-pop, has taken over the airwaves of Asia and the world, all through groups such as Brown Eyed Girls. Do not sing in English. They definitely bring them to the masses, same Illuminati symbolism pushed by pop stars in the Western world. The video of 6 Sense is a true manifesto of the elite, describing how it controls entertainers and uses them to indoctrinate the masses. This article analyzes the meaning of the symbolism in Brown Eyed Girls music video 6 Sense. I looked into the symbolism and two popular K-pop videos and how they fit in the global Illuminati agenda. Since then, Korean pop has only gotten bigger, as record labels like Nega Network and SM Entertainment churn out new boy and girl bands at a hectic pace. These labels are almost pop music sweet shops, as scandals has arisen regarding the mistreatment of K-pop stars and the signing of slave contracts. These labels are in turn owned and controlled by the same elite global media corporation who own America and British labels and pop stars. In this content, it is surprising that K-pop videos show its stars tied down and submitting to the total liberation power. So as we know, the elite control the whole music industry, and the reason it's a big influence in, as we know, Japan, Korea, North Korea, South Korea, Chinese. Reason it's big because, as we know, with anime and all that, they're big in Japan and that, so that's why it's got a massive influence. Japanese music and Korean music is big in Japan. The video of 6 Sense, seen from the very popular girl band Brown Eyed Girls, could not better portray the elite control on media and entertainment more than simply displaying Illuminati symbolism. The video presents the blueprint of how popular figures can be used to communicate a specific message using sex and music as an interceptive. Each of the group's members are shown in different positions of submission, each representing the different ways the elite controls entertainments to serve its interests, while Mahiro, Nasha, Nashara, Jae-in, and Jaya appear to be rebelling against an authentic police state. They are at the concepts are found in K-pop video intended for children and teenagers, or are they being warned or indoctrinated by the message of the video? Let's take a look at the symbolism of the video and the message it communicates to the viewers. The premise of 6 Sense. The video takes place in the concept of total liberation or elation police state where media is tightly controlled and people are tightly monitored. This already goes on today. Basically as well, and what this is simulating is, as we know, martial law. Basically where you've got no freedom at all. As we know, they basically were on about doing it, basically where Obama said this was ages and ages ago, that they were basically gonna arrest people before they've even committed a crime. Basically, before they commit the crime in the future, they'd arrest them. And basically, we know, basically they were saying as well, this camera to track people, gains information. I mean, like watchdogs. I mean, we all know this goes on anyway. The video begins showing police in riot gear and video cameras setting it in a big brotherish police state, as we know, Big Brother, the old seeing eye. And obviously what the police riot gear simulates is martial law, order out of chaos, their excuse to bring the New World Order in. See, these people see the system and the New World Order wants you to go out and start doing a violent uprising. This is what they want, because then it gives them an excuse to take guns away, take all the American rights away, so you've got no freedom at all, and basically it gives them an excuse to bring along the New World Order. See, this is why they do what they do. They're causing chaos and all that, because they want people to go out and do a violent uprising. Because it just gives the elite an excuse. The Reg is controlled by a masked figure named The Absolute, according to an interview with the lyricist of the group, who could easily be associated with the masked occult elite. Look at it. Notice how there's a leader and there's an army. Remember the song Only with Nicki Minaj and Drake and Lil Wayne? Remember that? Basically, she was basically portraying herself as a soldier, a Nazi soldier, and the Nazis army around her. This is the exact same thing. This is obviously simulating the Antichrist or something. They're absolute looking over its army of riot police. Yet another music video getting young people used to the idea of an oppressive police state. There appears to be some resistance to the absolute regime, namely brown-eyed girls. They are shown standing in defiance of the riot police and appear to be taking a stance against the oppression of the absolute. As an ultimate gesture of defiance, the group starts singing. Do they sing about freedom and liberation? Are they singing out what is on everyone's mind? No, not really. The listeners are treated to the same pursued sexual drive in all pop stars' songs, numbs our brains with. Here's a translation of the first verse. Your thirsty face starts sweating and your flesh on the tip, my sharp fingers. The bubble in champagne explodes, good pain. No need to worry, love, it's just a game. And as well, notice how it's in red, black and white. Known colours of Freemasonry. I mean, you just have to look it up. These three colours together are known as Freemasonry colours. Red and black is the colour of Satanism. It's what the Roman Vatican have worn. You'll see they wear black, red, because they worship Lucifer. What does this have to do with resistance? Not much. In fact, the song is about the exact opposite, not resisting but giving in to the sixth sense. Are BEG truly in opposition to the riot police, or are they in fact on their side? The six-pointed star on the police uniforms represent the sixth sense, so it would seem both sides are about the same thing exactly. Star also simulates the Baphomet, the devil. The riot police wears a star with its lowest point, red, symbolizing the sixth sense. In occult symbolism, upside down triangles represent the vula, the feminine energy, and reproduction. As we know, this is what Satan does because he's a complete pervert. That's why they did what they did in the Grammys and that, basically putting the stage in the shape of a woman's reproductive organ. What exactly is the sense? Sixth sense. Judging by the lyrics of the song and the symbolism of the video, it is sexual energy, the most basic and primal of human instincts. It is the easiest way to capture and keep the attention of an audience, and is used ad nos in pop music to generate interest. Otherwise inspired songs, pretty girls can make things such as a facet police state cool on an astral level. Reproductive organs are part of the base chakra, which can explain why it is associated in the video with the lowest point of the six-pointed star. While the five other senses send information to the brain to be processed and analyzed, the carnal impulse in humans bypasses all of that and directly taps into our primal urges. For this reason, sexuality can be successfully used to sell anything, including music. I mean, most of that is true because, look at what Nicki Minaj does, basically promotes herself half naked on front of an album just to sell it. So that's why you see sex this, sex that, and everything. You just can't get away from it. At the start of the song, J in or Gat in immediately points towards her upside down triangle singing touch touch. I guess that's all there need to be known about the sixth sense. So basically it's just another sexual reference. That's all it is. It's all about sex again. Pervert. And this is supposed to be, and this is used for young teens. Perverted. Pointing basically to her private parts. It's not really a surprise because there's a lot of paedophiles in the industry and it's sick. Brown Eyed Girls is therefore singing about how great the sixth sense is in front of riot police wearing a symbol representing the sixth sense. Are they really on the same side? It is still nearly early to say. However, the video goes on to show the backstory of each of the group's members, and the videos narrate they each have been used by the Absolute in a different way, each of them representing a facet of Illuminati control in the entertainment business, facets of Illuminati control. During the video, each member of Blue Eyed Girls is shown in a different setting, yet in a similar situation they are all controlled and monitored by the Absolute and forced to play a role in the advancement of its agenda. The character played by each member represents a facet of Illuminati control in the entertainment business. Mayo, the rapper of the group, as a messenger. Mayo is shown standing in front of the luxurious palace of the Absolute. She is therefore owned by him and speaks for him. The double S on the palace stands for sixth sense. Miro appears to be strong and confident, but upon closer look we realize that she is actually tied down. She is forced to speak into microphones representing the media to transmit the message of the absolute. This image represents the fact that artists are used as mouthpieces by the elite to authorize their popularity and charisma to deliver messages. When Miro signed that record contract to become a professional singer, she indeed became the property of the elite. As we know, as soon as you sign that contract with the elite, you don't go to the elite, they find you. Soon as they realize that an artist is making big money, that's when the Illuminati come. So they can make money off you and turn you into a puppet. As we see, Nasha representing mind control, kitten programming, as we know, basically creating a woman into their slave, sex slave. Nasha's character is very animalistic, essentially crawling around on four legs like a cat. She is wearing leopard print shorts, which, as readers of this site know, represents kitten beta programming in mind control symbolism. Origins and techniques of mind control. For more information regarding mind control, she is also surrounded by animal cages which represent the dehumanization and captivity of mind control slaves. At the hands of their handlers, actual MK slaves are said to be often held in animal cages to cause trauma. Despite her forced state, Nasha appears to enjoy being watched, which is how bear kittens are programmed to act. And as we see, Nashara is shown in juxtaposition with a cat walking around the elite's palace, furthering the association with kitten programming. And as we know, the Black Cat, as we know that song with The Weeknd, Starboy, he also used a black cat and it turned into a panther. It's basically simulating the growth in the elite. In an interview, the lyricist of the group, Kim Enna, explains Nasha's role. Nasha represents the sixth sense in itself and embodies the animalistic lyrics in the song, such as the tips of my sharp nails become embedded into your skin. Since there is a recurring jungle cat theme, Nasha was directed to act as widely as possible for the video. The lights inside the cages are flashlights, a symbol of constantly being watched and observed. What's interesting about her character is that although she looks afraid of it, she also seems to enjoy being observed. So they even admit that it's supposed to mean that she's being watched. Gia representing sacrifice. At first glance, the scene featuring Gia appears to somewhat poetic, with her floating in water and whatnot. On close look, we realize that she is tied up to the piece of wood and is left there to die in a manner vulgarly similar to Christ tied up on the cross. We also realize that this is taking place in the pool of the elite palace. In other words, they placed her there to sacrifice her. But Jesus Christ wasn't tied up with a rope, as we know, he was nailed. G therefore represents the ritual sacrifices of the occult elite. More than being simple employees, public figures that are part of Illuminati industry sometimes become unwilling parts of the Illuminati rituals. The lyric of the group confirms that. Gia represents the image of sacrifice. There we go, they admit it, they openly admit it, that She's representing a sacrifice. Sacrifice, she is tied to tree branches, an idea derived from religion. This is lies. Jesus Christ wasn't tied to the cross. He was nailed. This is the this is the Jehovah Witness lie. He wasn't tied to a cross. He was nailed. He had nails through his hand. That's how they put him on the cross. These are basically saying that Jesus Christ didn't endure any pain, that he was just tied up. If he was tied up, he could have easily got down. It's just straight up blasphemous. Jesus Christ suffered pain. He wasn't tied up. Tied up means you can undo those ropes. He wasn't tied up. He was whipped, beaten, spat at. And it even says that he had nails through his hands. I mean, when he come out and resurrected, and he showed the people the holes in his hands. Gia therefore represents the sacrifice. She's tied to tree branches, an idea derived from religion. Although the scene looks beautiful from afar, the viewer is able to see that Gia is being pressed down and chained. Monarch mind control. J in the traitor. J in character appears to have been beaten and humiliated by the absolutes. Reg in. As a result of being a traitor, she is now tied to a chair being between Masonic pillars and also the checkerboard floor, and is being filmed by a camera. She is the example showing to others what happens to those who attempt to go against the absolute, basically who goes against the elite. The uprising, at one point, all of this singing and dancing apparently gets everyone riled up and ready to start a revolution. Exactly what they want. They want you to go out and start a riot so they can bring in martial law and a new world order. This is why you're not going to fall for it. They want you to do this. At one point, riled up and ready to start a revolution, the members of BEG, who were shown above to be restrained and monitored, become aggressive and rebellious. Although they never truly free themselves, the riot police feeds from this energy and become rebellious too. They are shown questioning themselves as they remove their helmets to reveal their faces. These soldiers are not simple pawns. They are young men with emotions and stuff. They turn against their ruler and rush towards him as water cannons protect the palace. At that point, the mask of the Absolute is shown thrown on the ground. And what mask is it? The same mask that they use in the occult elite for rituals and their sex parties. The golden mask represents the hidden faceless elite, is shown on the ground, leading the viewers to think that the revolt was a success. The scene then reverts to reality and shows again the riot police about to rush BEG. There is no uprising. The riot police is right there where was. The rebellion incited by the girls was one big fantasy dreamt up by BEG and the army. They are now back to the cold, hard reality. You cannot fight the Absolute. Meaning of the video. Under guise of entertainment, the video of Sixth Sense gives its viewers a rather harsh lesson in power and politics, a basic analysis of the story, answering simple questions as who won the battle and what's the moral of the story, reveals that the elite won and that resistance is useless. In fact, there never was any actual resistance, as BG were manipulated by the Absolute all along. The uprising was nothing but a mere illusion, proving to the viewers that they can be led to believe anything they see. Exactly, this is why the media do what they do. They know whatever a celebrity promotes, the media is going to soak it up and believe it. Presented as heroes of the people, BG is shown to be inciting a riot and being agents of liberation. The only thing they, however, truly accomplished is a mere distraction, a temporary escape to a world filled with brave and determined people ready to fight for freedom. That is what mass media accomplishes on a daily basis, putting in the spotlight artists who are in appearance rebellious and uncompromising, yet following their messages is exactly what the elite wants the masses to do. In communication theory terms, the viewers are subjected to a Hegelian dialectic where a theist and anti-theist are proposed, but engaging in either one of them ultimately advances the agenda of the elite. In other words, it is one big circular mind screw. Here's a little description of how it works. For the elite of his day, and for the monetary elite today, the Hegelian dialectic provides tools for the manipulation of society. To move the public from point A to point B, one needs only find a spokesperson for a certain argument and position him or herself as an authority. That person represents goalposts. One another spokesperson is positioned on the other side of the argument to represent goalposts too. Argument A and B can then be used to manipulate a given social discussion. If one wishes, for instance, to promote idea C and merely needs to promote the arguments of goalpost 1 that tend to promote idea C more effectively than the arguments of goalpost 2, this forces a slippage goalpost 2's position now both goalpost 1 and goalpost 2 advance downfield towards idea C. Eventually goalpost 2 accompanies goalpost 1 original position. The anti-C argument now accompanies the pro-C position. In this manner, whole social conversations are shifted from, say, a debate over market freedom versus socialism to a debate about the degree of socialism that is desirable. The Hegelian dialectic is a powerful technique for influencing the conversations of cultures and nations, especially if one already owns much of the important media in which the arguments take place. One can then, as the monetary elite characteristically do, emphasize one argument at the expense of the other, effectively shifting the position of goalposts 1 and 2. Pop stars often play the role of goalposts too in entertainment videos, but the blatant symbolism of these videos show that they are truly working for the hidden rulers. The final scene from Beyonce's Run the World Girls saluting the riot police, while at first Beyonce appears to be leading a resistance or liberation movement. This final scene tells the viewers that regardless what they just saw, she still obeys the orders of the powers that be, like Sixth Sense. This video also emphasizes the power of sexuality to control the masses, with lyrics such as "My persuasion can build a nation," "Endless power, the love we can devour, you'll do anything for me." So this is what you're not gonna fall for. These people will act like they're against, many have done it, many act like they're against the elite, but they're not. They're just mind controlling you. It's a game. They act like they're against the elite, then people worship them and follow them. This is why it's all done. The Illuminati, these people are controlled by the Illuminati. Once you're in the Illuminati, you're in it, there's no way out. As that oath they take in the Freemason when they agree to it. Although the 4 members of BAG were shown to be somewhat rebellious, the core of their message was at the end exactly what the elite wanted to communicate. The concept of Sixth Sense appeals to the shutting down of intentional and congruent functions to surrender to the memorizing effect of lust in mass media. It is during this somewhat hypnotized and slightly aroused state that messages can effectively reach the viewer's brain with maximum effectiveness. In conclusion, by analyzing the political message of Sixth Sense, one forgets that this video is primarily aimed at children and teenagers. While listening to this music and admiring their idols dancing, the viewers are exposed to a powerful lesson that sticks in the subconscious mind. Resistance is futile. Even worse, resistance does not even exist, as those who appear to be resisting are just leading you towards the elite's goal. These kinds of propaganda videos existed under dictatorship, but today they are passed around as entertainment. They get massive airplay on MTV and millions of hits on YouTube. In reality, nobody is forced to watch these videos, but they are nevertheless quite popular. Is there a reason why people willingly subject themselves to this kind of elite propaganda? Yes, these videos appeal to their sixth sense, and that people like that. Couldn't agree more. So as you see, these people may act like they're against the elite, but in the end the video shows that they're not against the elite, and they're actually slaves of the elite, and they'll follow the masters and do whatever the master says. So therefore they're not against the elite, and there was never a resistance in this video, never.